Why the Little People, Big World family fell apart. Fans of Little People, Big World think Matt Roloff broke up his family due to his greedy behavior. Matt appeared on the reality TV show alongside his ex-wife, Amy Roloff, and their children. Little People, Big World focused on their son, Zach Roloff, who had dwarfism, and his siblings. When the reality show started, the Roloffs were a happy family living on and managing the Roloff family farm. There was a rift in their family when Amy and Matt split. After their divorce, viewers noticed that Matt's ego had grown, which affected his relationship with his family. The family broke even more apart over the ownership of the family farm after Matt tried to sell it. To viewers of Little People, Big World, Matt and Amy Roloff's relationship always appeared fractured, so it was no surprise when they ended their two-decade relationship in 2016. Aside from growing apart, the 25th season of the reality TV show hinted that there was something else behind the split. Amy and Matt wed in September 1987, and their twin sons, Jeremy and Zach, were born 3 years later. Their daughter Molly arrived in 1993, followed by son Jacob in 1997. In her memoir, A Little Me, Amy alleged that Matt started his relationship with Karen Chandler while they were still married. Karen was a long-time employee who managed the pumpkin patch, and Matt turned to her for help throughout the show. Amy wrote about Matt and Karen, "I saw messages, pictures, and other things that should not have been shared between people who just worked together and were still married to other people." Matt has always denied the affair with Karen, explaining that the two started their relationship after the divorce. The pair got engaged in 2023. Matt and Amy now have a good relationship, and he is supportive of her marriage to ChrisMarek, who she wed in 2021. They're a wonderful couple, and we enjoy them immensely and hang out with them. We're not besties every day, but we certainly hang out. In an episode of Zach and Tori Roloff's Raising Heights podcast from May 2024, Zach admitted that his relationship with his father, Matt, was not great. The filming ended, you kind of just give yourself some space, and then the show airs 6 months later, and it kind of brings up some old wounds. Zach explained filming for Little People, Big World takes place a year before airing. Stuff comes out on social media, and you realize that people are thinking the same thing, and it's kind of a bummer because then it's like, oh, I thought we were kind of evening out a little bit. Zach claimed that the people involved in the family drama are still in denial, and they believe they didn't do anything wrong. He denied withholding his children from seeing their grandfather, dismissing it as internet drama. The former reality TV star also hinted at what led to the family rift during the podcast segment. "It's a narcissism, so no, it's not great," he added, but he was optimistic that things could improve in the future. Matt has a better relationship with his two younger children, who have chosen to live life away from the spotlight. He revealed that his youngest child, Jacob, returned to Roloff Farm with his own family. He's taking great advantage of many possibilities. The 90-acre farm. He is living and working full-time with his wife and son Matteo, named in my honor, on the farm. He also explained that Jacob was the family member he saw the most. Matt also sees his only daughter Molly, who lives in Spokane with her husband Joel. Sometimes Karen and I fly up to northern Washington for a weekend visit, and often her and Joel come stay either at the big house or at my new house. Molly and Joel were just here in Arizona, staying with us for days, enjoying the sunshine and taking in the local wildlife zoo. Always wonderful to visit with the amazing Molly Jo and hubby Joel. Tensions between Zach and Matt Roloff initially arose when Matt listed a portion of their farm for public sale after his son expressed interest in buying it. Matt then changed his mind and decided to turn the property into a short-term vacation rental. Matt explained in a Facebook post that the issue was both his twin sons, Zach and Jeremy, expressed an interest in buying the Roloff home and farm from him in the fall of 2021. As twins, they have always been super competitive, but this was one situation that I couldn't let one win over the other, Matt wrote in a social media post. Matt and his sons were allegedly in negotiations for a year. Matt put the portion of the family farm on the market for $4 million, while Zach offered $1.6 million. Matt went on to explain that Oregon had strict rules about dividing up land and property. While he did shrink the size of the North Farm by selling the big house, Matt admits he increased the amount of land in the trust account. It hasn't been easy, especially all while being filmed, and sometimes even very painful. Matt explained his regret at the whole family feud playing out on the TLC reality show. But in the end, it's all been productive, and although in hindsight I would change several of my processes, I believe the results are better, and I love watching all the kids find their independence and passions on their own terms. For over 17 years, Little People, Big World captivated audiences with the unique and heartfelt story of the Roloff family, a household defined by love, resilience, and the challenges of living with dwarfism. At the center were Matt and Amy Roloff, who raised their 4 children, Jeremy, Zach, Molly, and Jacob, on a sprawling farm in Oregon. What began as a story of triumph over adversity evolved over time into a complex family saga, culminating in visible fractures, public disagreements, and emotional distance. Today, fans are left wondering, what happened to the once tight-knit Roloff family? Why did it fall apart? This article dives deep into the dynamics, decisions, and emotional wounds that caused one of reality TV's most beloved families to unravel. The Little People, Big World series premiered in 2006 on TLC, offering an intimate look into the lives of Matt and Amy Roloff, both of whom have dwarfism, and their children, some with dwarfism and others of average height. The show's early years were filled with joy, family bonding, and the everyday chaos of raising children on a 100-acre farm. However, beneath the surface, tensions quietly brewed. Matt and Amy's differences in personality and vision for the future became more apparent as their children grew up and the show gained popularity. While Matt was a dreamer, always plotting big projects, Amy was more grounded and cautious. These differing temperaments often clashed. A major turning point for the Roloffs came in 2015 when Matt and Amy announced their divorce after 27 years of marriage. Their split, though handled relatively amicably in public, triggered emotional aftershocks across the entire family. Amy later confessed that she had felt unappreciated and emotionally neglected in her marriage. She also opened up about the struggles of navigating a divorce while still co-owning a farm and co-starring on a television show with her ex-husband. The divorce also placed the children in a difficult spot, emotionally torn between 2 parents while trying to pursue their own paths. After their separation, Matt and Amy tried to maintain a working relationship for the sake of the farm and their children. But it wasn't easy. Matt remained on Roloff Farms, while Amy chose to sell her share and move off the property. This physical separation symbolized the emotional and psychological distance that had been growing between them, and that would soon extend to the next generation. Amy's remarriage to ChrisMarek in 2021 was a bright spot in her journey, but it also marked a clear turning of the page. Meanwhile, Matt's relationship with Karen Chandler, his longtime assistant-turned-girlfriend, became a flashpoint for controversy, particularly regarding its possible overlap with his marriage to Amy. Perhaps no other element symbolizes the family's downfall more than Roloff Farms. Once a source of pride and unity, the farm eventually became a battleground over inheritance, legacy, and fairness. In 2022, Matt decided to put a portion of the farm, including the beloved family home, up for sale for $4 million. Fans were shocked. Even more shocking were the revelations that neither Jeremy nor Zach would be taking over the property, despite years of hints that they might. Zach and Tori Roloff, in particular, were vocal about feeling betrayed. Zach accused Matt of misleading the family about the future of the farm and prioritizing business over family. Their fallout was not just behind closed doors, it played out in interviews, social media posts, and on-screen confessions. Zach and Jeremy were once the heart of the show, often seen working and goofing around together. But as adulthood approached, the twins grew apart both in their life choices and their relationship. Jeremy and his wife, Audrey, exited the show in 2018 to pursue other ventures, including books, podcasts, and a Christian-based lifestyle brand. They promoted strong traditional family values, which some critics interpreted as judgmental or self-righteous. Meanwhile, Zach and Tori remained on the show longer and adopted a more laid-back parenting style. The differences in approach created an undercurrent of tension between the brothers and their wives. While neither side confirmed a full-on feud, subtle jabs and passive-aggressive online exchanges indicated that all was not well. Their children rarely appear together, and family get-togethers seem increasingly rare. Youngest son Jacob was never fully comfortable in the limelight. In 2016, he left the show entirely, criticizing its portrayal of his family as scripted and fake. He also expressed frustration with the TLC production team and how they manipulated storylines. In 2020, Jacob made a heart-wrenching revelation. He had been molested by a former producer of the show. This brave disclosure shocked fans and underscored the dark side of reality television. Jacob's relationship with the rest of the family has since been strained but healing. Interestingly, Jacob now lives on Roloff farms with his wife, Isabel, and their son, a controversial choice given his past rejection of the show and the very property that symbolized so much conflict. Critics and fans alike questioned how he could live on the farm while his brothers, especially Zach, were seemingly pushed out. Jacob defended his decision by clarifying that he doesn't support the commodification of family legacy through TV, but wants to support the land and its sustainability. Unlike her brothers, Molly has largely remained private. She appeared less frequently on the show as she got older, eventually relocating to Washington with her husband. Molly's decision to stay away from the limelight is often seen as a wise one, allowing her to maintain personal peace. However, it has also distanced her from the core family drama, both literally and emotionally. She is rarely seen in family events and social media posts, highlighting the fragmentation. Karen Chandler's relationship with Matt has been one of the most divisive elements in the Roloff family narrative. Once a longtime employee of the farm, Karen's close involvement in family matters, including real estate decisions, drew criticism from fans and family alike. Amy expressed discomfort with how quickly Karen became integrated into Matt's life, especially around the children. Tori and Zach reportedly distanced themselves from Matt, partly due to Karen's role in the farm sale process. In 2023, Matt and Karen got engaged, and while some family members congratulated them, the absence of a united front was impossible to ignore. The divide had widened further. Part of the Roloff's unraveling can be attributed to the pressures of public life. Fame, filming schedules, editing, and audience expectations placed enormous strain on their relationships. Tori and Zach, now living in Washington with their 3 children, often hinted at the emotional toll of constantly being in the spotlight. Their departure from the show marked a desire to reclaim privacy and emotional health. Amy, too, admitted that filming her divorce and navigating new love in front of millions took a psychological toll. Even Matt's ambitious nature appeared to buckle under the weight of family expectations and public judgment. At Matt for family events. Zach and Tori live in battleground Washington, raising their 3 kids away from the spotlight. Jeremy and Audrey run their online brand, focusing on marriage, parenting, and faith-based living. Jacob and Isabel live on Roloff farms, working behind the scenes on sustainable farming projects. Molly remains largely out of the public eye, pursuing a quiet life in Spokane. Reunions are infrequent. Milestones like birthdays or holidays are no longer celebrated as a unified family, with each branch choosing its own path. Despite the fractures, all hope is not lost. There have been small signs of healing. Zach attending Amy's wedding, Matt publicly congratulating his children on life events, and Amy expressing a desire to mend family ties. But the wounds run deep, particularly around the farm and the feeling of being wronged or misunderstood. Forgiveness may come, but it will require time, humility, and perhaps the absence of cameras. The Roloff story is more than a reality show. It's a reflection of how even the most loving families can fracture under the pressure of fame, differing values, and difficult decisions. While the show may be ending, Its legacy continues in the lives of its cast, who are now forging their identities outside the lens of TLC. Fans still hold out hope for a Roloff reunion, but for now, the family remains deeply divided. One thing is clear: the Roloffs may have drifted apart, but they have each left a mark on millions of viewers. Their journey, filled with both inspiration and heartache, continues to resonate. The Roloff family's fall from unity wasn't caused by a single event. It was a culmination of emotional wounds, divergent life paths, and unresolved conflicts magnified by the pressures of reality TV. What began as a hopeful, heartwarming show about overcoming adversity slowly morphed into a saga of personal choices, missed connections, and broken expectations. And yet, the story isn't over. Families evolve. Perhaps in time, the Roloffs will write a new chapter, one grounded not in fame or farmland, but in healing.